Well, good afternoon. Beautiful, sunshiny afternoon here in Hillsboro. Pretty hot though. Hot summer day, but I got a fan up over here above my head. Keeps me cool somewhat. Anyway, I was sitting here reading the book of Luther's, and he commenting on Genesis 6:22. Thus did Noah. According to all that God commanded him, so did he. Well, this is the first passage in which praise for obedience to God is clothed in such a form of words. Later we find it stated repeatedly that Moses and the people did according to all that God commanded them, but Noah received commendation as an example for us. His was not a dead faith, which is no faith at all, but a living and an active faith. He renders obedience to God's commands because he believes both God's promises and threats, and he carefully carries out what God commanded with reference to the ark, the gathering of the animals and the food. This is unique praise for Noah's faith, that he remains on the royal road. He adds nothing, changes nothing, but abides absolutely in the precept he has heard from God. It's the most common and the most noxious sin in the church, that people either altogether change God's commands or render something else paramount to them. They sin, swerve too much to the left by failing to perform the divine commands. Those who swerve to the right and do more than God has commanded, like Saul when he spared the Amalekites, sin even more grievously. They had a sham piety, while those who err on the left cannot excuse their error. Those on the right do not hesitate to ascribe to themselves remarkable merit, and such error is exceedingly common. God is wont sometimes to command common, ridiculous, and even offensive things, but reason delights in splendid things, the wonderful stuff. From the common one it shrinks or undertakes them under protest. Thus the monks shrank from home duties and chose for themselves others, apparently of greater glamour. Today the great throng, hearing that common tasks are preached in the gospel, despise it as a common thing and lacking in elegance. Such is the madness of man's wisdom. Hence Moses rightly commends Noah's obedience when he says that he did everything the Lord had enjoined. That means to give God credit for wisdom and goodness. Noah kept his eye on the majesty of him who gave the command. That was enough for him, even though the command be absurd and apparently impossible. All such objections he passes by, and he takes his stand upon the one thing commanded by God. One thing commanded by God. What's the greatest commandment? Someone asked Jesus. To love the Lord your God with all your heart and soul and all your mind. And second is like unto this, love your fellow man as yourself. Do we do that, or do we pick and choose other things to do instead? Yes, we do. Well, have a good read of the Bible today and spend some time in prayer. Good afternoon, fellow pilgrims. God bless.